Thousands of taxpayers received their property tax estimates over the last month. As usual, a giant chunk of those taxes come to GCPS. The board today has tentatively approved the superintendent's proposed budget for next year. Let's discuss this. Approximately $3.2 billion next year. That is the same as the entire GDP of Belize. A trip to Belize can be a tropical vacation. A trip into how our money is spent is generally a nightmare. Look no further than the 48 KPIs y'all originally agreed to. Over 20 are under goal, including teacher retention of all colors and student achievement and graduation rate. One of the few exceeding goals is the ratio of social workers, counselors, and school psychologists, meaning we've hired too many. Staff raises are coming to the tune of 4%, and that's great, unless that also includes high-level ISC staff. Alvin Wilbank's contract had increases for teacher raises. Does Watts have that as well? $500,000 a year isn't enough, because that 20 grand could be much better spent elsewhere. Speaking of raises, since we now basically employ everybody who used to work in Kent, Washington, can you tell us why they all received such large pay bumps over their previous employees? Sloan Roach made $171,000 her last year, but her replacement, Melissa Laramie, is getting $229,000 according to public record. Why? Why is a PR person who's actively stalking my Facebook page making more than the governor of Georgia? You have high turnover in deputy and chief positions, epic failures and outside hires of Towns and Lancer. A third of your principals have less than 2 years experience, and teachers are fleeing in droves due to instability in the entire org chart. And who can blame them? They're at the mercy of a super and his handpicked staff that float theories and experimental ideas, who are warned by teachers, staff, and parents that they won't work. And then when they don't, after rollout, we roll them back due to public outcry and media spotlight. Is this effective leadership? It sure is an excellence, because we now have a graduation rate of 81.9%, lower than the state average of 84, and lower than every surrounding district except for DeKalb. The super and the board have for 3 years talked about fixing disparities in achievement for Black and Hispanic youth. Instead, they've increased. Hardly excellence, and definitely not equitable. That's 3 of your E's, by the way. The 4th one is empathy. No empathy was shown 3 years ago when you terminated a highly successful superintendent early. You asked for patience and empathy from everyone while trying to change everything. We kept told it would take time to see progress. But last March, when you renewed his contract, you said you would hold him accountable as we moved forward. We haven't gotten better, we aren't getting better, and we won't until you keep your promise. Call a vote to not renew this $500,000 wasteful budget item. The voters are watching. The election is next month. Please do your duty. If you don't want to fire him, then demote him. Maybe he can run that new sex education pilot program in the fall. After all, he's been an expert at screwing us.